Hi, welcome. This is Here's Your Good Health. My name is Linda Prezioso. I'm a nurse practitioner at Family Medical Center. This show is sponsored by WHIG TV. This show is for you, by you, and about you. It's all about your good health. It's all about you taking care of yourself. It's all about you knowing what to eat, how to move, what to do for yourself to make you be the best that you can be. You can't trust a doctor to say, to do all this for you, and you certainly can't trust the drug industry to do all that for you. So welcome. Tonight my guest is Linda Harris. She's nervous, so just welcome her. Just be sending good vibes from your living room as you're watching tonight. I want to say hi to Jill Bob if she's watching. She's my nurse, and she says every Wednesday, "You going on TV tonight? You're going to be live?" Yes, Jill Bob. So she sometimes watches me. She threatens to call me, but she hasn't done it yet, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Anyway, this is my friend Linda Harris. And she and I met each other a couple years ago. She's got a business in Wilson, and she's moved to Rocky Mount, I guess about a year now. And so we're going to talk about her business and what she does. She has the Well Life
Institute and Wellness
and
Center.
Wellness. I knew the wellness was in there someplace. So welcome, Linda. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate
I'm excited.
it.
I'm glad we get to do this
Yeah,
together. It's fun.
yeah. Well, you better wait till after it's over to
Till
make
after
sure
it's
it's
over, yeah.
make sure it's
Make
fun.
sure it was that fun. Huh? Well, we always have fun when we talk,
Oh, yeah,
so I think
yeah.
that'll be all right.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got into the natural healing, taking care of yourself business.
Well, really, it goes back to when I was a child. I was one of those people who couldn't take medications. I was very sickly, a weaker immune system. And so as I got older, and that still continued, I couldn't take certain medications. I would take it one time and have a reaction. The next time I took it, so I couldn't take it. So I had to kind of start leaning toward the natural. My mother actually died at the age I am right now, 20 years ago, and it was because she was on so many prescription medications that had just tore her body down. And that's when I became way more passionate about it. Before her death, I was trying to do as much as I could in study, and I was originally certified then in natural health to try to help her. And of course, the good Lord took her, and I miss her very much, but I know she's not in pain. But I just continued on with that. So I did my certification in natural health, and then fast forward to COVID time, and different businesses were closed down. Of course, my business was one of the ones closed down, and so I went back to school and to go ahead and get a bachelor's, and I'm working right now on my doctorate in natural health. I am board certified as a I can't even talk tonight. As a naturopathic practitioner, I work with holistic and natural modalities, helping people, working with mind, body, spirit. So I just am very passionate about it because I see people who need help, who, just as you were saying when you were introducing us, you can't always trust everything. We have to be responsible for our own health. And so I'm more passionate. I'm passionate about helping people, and I'm passionate about educating them. There's so much information out there. So as many people as have the good information that can pass that along, I think that's important, and both of us know that. We've talked about that with the things that we do. Anyway, that's how I got to where I'm at. I've been in business for 28 years. I originally started as a day spa, the first day spa there was in Wilson, and again during COVID. Took a drastic step and changed my business name, which was scary, but I wanted to reflect everything that we were offering there for natural health.
So in these 28 years, what did you offer 28 years ago?
28 years ago, I was, again, the first day spa there. And we offered massage therapy, facials, pedicures, nails, all the things that still we would call today as self-care, which is a very important part.
Absolutely.
Self-care is important
Yes.
to our health and wellness. So those are the things that we offered. I had a huge staff of 11, 12 to 13 people at a time, and later on decided to downsize, chill out a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot to have
it is,
to
it is.
juggle
but
all those
enjoyed
people.
it, yeah, and learned a lot. So,
Sure,
yeah.
sure. So do you still do nails and that kind of
No,
thing?
we don't offer that anymore. We focus on what I call healing therapies, and all of that. Again, when we talk about the mind, the body, the spirit, the emotions, and how we need to keep a balance in all that, I think it's very important to be able to take care of all those areas. So we offer massage therapy. That includes, I'm medical massage certified, so and the girls are in the process of doing more of that themselves. We do lymphatic drainage for cancer patients. We do Reiki or healing touch therapies, which really help people a lot. Some teaching them yoga, stretching, chair exercise if that's what they need, skincare, aesthetics, and I'm very passionate about skin. I've always had very sensitive skin. Rosacea is something a lot of people suffer from, and I have that too.
Yep.
Came in my mid-30s. That seems to be when it hits most people that it comes out, and so I treat people's skin with my natural health at the same time I'm working on their skin to beautify it. And not only do I do that while they're there, but I teach them what they can do at home. But you can tell a lot about a person's body and their health by looking at their skin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and face mapping, that's a thing that you do. You can, different areas that have certain breakouts or certain things, dark spots in certain areas can mean, a different organ that may be struggling. So
That's pretty
it
interesting.
is very interesting.
Yeah. How long have you been an esthetician?
28 years.
28 years.
28 years.
The magic number.
That's right.
And I think at one of the talks that I was at that you gave, weren't you a single mom raising kids?
I was a single mom. I sure was, raising kids, working hard,
Yeah.
and building that business too. So I work all the time, I think.
She does. She's like
I
me.
have to-
We're workaholics.
We
it's
are.
pathetic. It,
We
it
are.
really is kind of sad. But I've started doing more self-care for myself. So just pampering myself a little bit because I do work a lot and I'm on the go a lot and I need to.
Yeah.
You need to take care of yourself.
You do, and what happens with people like you and me both, and we go to a lot of the same events, and we're working a lot of the same hours, and we are teaching other people, and sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. I think about that a lot of times. Even Jesus told the disciples, I'm going to go over here and take some time, leave me alone. And we have to remember that when we're teaching that to other people or helping them to get better, that we have to do that for ourselves.
Well, even God said you work 6 days on the seventh day rest. Yeah,
That's exactly
so,
right.
And you did say something a few weeks ago when I was listening to you about that the younger generation, they're better at self-care. They don't, we go. I go till I can't go anymore, and I'm almost sick because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And that certainly is not the right way to do it.
It's not what we want you to do.
No, don't do what I do. Do as I say in this particular
That's right.
instance. I'm learning how, but I think you brought out, because in one of the groups that we belong to, there's younger women there, and they're much better at self-care than
They are.
than
I
our
asked my
generation.
youngest son about that one day, and he said, well, Mom, I think people my age watched, especially when was it, like 2012 or something, I forget what year it was, when everything crashed and people just lost everything. He said, I think a lot of us decided we didn't want to work as hard as you guys did and then have that happen and have to continue to start over. And they do. They have a different mindset. And for our age group, especially for women, we did not take care of ourselves. We were last on the list. And now, it's popular. It's the thing to do, to go take care of yourself. And as much as, I know people our age too, you hear them say, oh, young people, some people call them lazy. Some people say that you say different things. But really, they've got a good thing going there because they already know how to do self-care.
Right.
And we have to learn.
Right.
That's why we have to continue to remind ourselves to do that. To them, that's a natural thing.
Right.
So really, they've got a heads up
Yeah,
on us there.
There,
Sure
yeah.
do.
And I don't know that I mean, some of them are lazy. Some people in our generation are lazy.
That's
You've got
correct.
you got your lazy folks everywhere. But I think a lot of them, it's just they have a different mindset and a different outlook on life. And
Yeah.
I don't know that we got it all together. I mean, I
Well,
do what I know
yeah,
to do, but
exactly.
that doesn't mean it's the 100% right thing to do
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, well, I think that's the case in any of us in
Yeah.
any age.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot has happened in their generation different from our generation, and so it would only be natural, I think, for them to see things differently.
Yeah, yeah. I know there's 9 years between my boys, and there's a huge difference in their mindset. Huge difference. And Louis, my oldest boy, is more like me, a workaholic, go, 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 do, 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 give, give, give. And Philip is more of the, yeah, I'm going to do, I mean, he works hard, don't get me wrong. He's
Yeah.
a hard worker and he has a career. But, you know, well, for instance, he didn't feel well last week. He's got this stomach thing going on. He's got to go see a gastroenterologist. And so,
And he can come see me too if he wants to. I can help him get to the root cause. It's
That's
just
right.
another set of eyes and ears on his little problem
you know,
there.
that's right.
That's what I do.
Yeah. I didn't even think of it.
I see.
You know, you just, I
Yeah.
take you for granted, I guess.
Aw.
I don't mean to.
It's okay.
But anyway, he spent all day last Saturday in his pajamas watching TV or playing computer games. I can't do that. I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm for one thing, I'm a different personality. As I told Linda, I did a lot of work on the computer this afternoon, and my backside is tired. I had to get up and walk. I would have been outside working in my yard if it wasn't. I live in a lake now, you know. I live out in the middle of a field, and it is just drenched out there. Oh,
It was
Lord.
pouring down when I left Rocky Mount, and I am newer to Rocky Mount with my business, and so it was pouring down, and I go the back roads to Wilson, and all of a sudden I got scared that what if this water just goes over
I
the
know,
road?
I know. You better take
So,
301 when you go home
That's
tonight.
that's what I said from
Yeah.
now on. When it's raining that hard, I will go
Yeah.
down 301
yeah,
to Wilson.
Yeah, I don't like those back roads, especially like you said when you were on the phone with me. She said, you know why you didn't see the fountain? There's no daggone water in it. I said, you can't miss the
I got a
fountain.
little lost here. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can because there's no
There's
water
no
in it
water.
and there's no lights on it and it's pitch black out here. So I kind of told you the wrong thing. But anyway, let's get back on track here. So you've got a place both in Wilson and in Rocky
And in
Mount.
Rocky Mount, yes.
Okay, and you do the same services at both places?
Now, in Wilson, we do a few more services there of the self-care services than we do here right now. The Rocky Mount office is newer. I focus, now I do at both places, thermography, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
So I focus on the thermal imaging. We do some massage. I actually am bringing one of the massage therapists over here one day a week to be able to do some healing therapies and massage with clients. So that'll be on Tuesdays to begin with. If anybody wants a
Awesome.
massage on Tuesdays, just give
There
us a
you
call.
go.
We'll get you in.
Yep.
And so,
Put the phone number up, Lee, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
so we do healing therapies like halo therapy. A lot of people don't know what halo therapy is. You see a lot of the places that have salt caves, and I used to have a salt cave long before COVID, and when COVID hit, a lot of people were afraid to come for that too, but really it's self-sanitizing the salt and stuff in the same way you would
Yeah.
put the salt in the pool. But halotherapy is two different. You can have passive halotherapy and you can have active halotherapy. So here in this location, I have both, which is passive and active, meaning we have the salt crystals and things that are there that are in the room when you go. But then we also have what is called active. It is a medical grade saline halo salt therapy that helps people with COPD, asthma. It literally is good for anxiety
So
because
do
when
you
we're-
inhale it or what?
Yes, there's a piece of equipment that's in the little salt room area that blows that out, and and you just breathe it naturally. You just sit in there and relax. You can read a book. You can just close your eyes and fall asleep if you want to. It's about a 20-minute session, and it helps a lot. I have a client actually in Wilson who has COPD, and she comes and gets in quite often. She said it helps her so much. It can help if you have a sinus infection, or if you have a cold, or you get stuffy, or and it's just an overall
Well, you have saline
wellness.
rinses for your nose.
Exactly,
It only makes
and
sense.
that's how it works. It's similar to, when people get RSV and they go in the hospital, they're under the tent, so it's kind of that type of therapy. And it's the other thing it's good for is making people like you and me stop. Because how often do we stop to sit down and just relax for 20 minutes? Except for my husband teases me because now I'll say, I'm going to take a 20-minute power nap. Now, 20 years ago, I'd have never been able to do that because I couldn't fall asleep. But I can take a 20-minute power nap now
Yeah, I can
and
too.
feel like I've slept, all night. And that is another form of self-care, just setting aside that time.
Oh, I take a nap almost every day.
Do you?
I do.
Good for you.
And
So see, you're
I
taking care of
started
yourself.
in between patients. I'd be so tired, and
Mm-hmm.
since I started my hormone therapy, I'm better. But anyway, we won't go into that. I'd be so tired, so we have a bone density table,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd grab a pillow off of the exam table, and I'd go in there and I'd
Yeah.
lay down. Sometimes I sleep. I used to sleep a lot. Because I'm not a good sleeper at night,
Yeah.
and I try to catch up. Now I'm sleeping better at night, and I'm because of the hormones, I have more energy. So a lot of times I just rest. But I do. I go in almost every day and lay down and
And that's good.
20 to 30
so you are
minutes.
practicing self-care, but sometimes we forget that those things are self-care.
yeah, I forget. A nap, self-care. All right, I got it.
Yes,
I got
is.
it.
One of the other things we do here is we do a foot detoxification, or we call it a foot bath and reflexology massage. And now I don't use the ion therapy in that. I do have oxygen and ion therapy in a different way that we offer in our Wilson office, and we'll soon be offering it here. But I have a proprietary blend that goes into the foot bath for detoxification, and then you soak for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we do a foot reflexology massage. We also have a sauna capsule and biomat. So those are some healing therapies that we're doing here right now, along with massage, lymphatic drainage, and massage and things like
But
that.
your Wilson office is what, 25 minutes?
It is. It's not that far.
far.
You can drive to Wilson if you want to do it. We do the spa packages, as we call them, the Well Life spa packages, or healing retreat packages. We have some that are already set up that you can do, or you can choose your own package. Sometimes we want a getaway, but we don't have time to travel away to get it,
Or
and then
don't
come
have all
back.
the money.
Or the money. That's
Yeah,
right. It costs
yeah.
more money. So you can have a getaway right at Well Life in Wilson. A whole room to yourself with all the different things in it. You don't even have to leave the room except for to go to the ladies' room. We serve you hot tea or herbal teas. We just really try to bring you to a relaxed state, so that you can heal. Our body, it's just like in sleep. When your body is in a relaxed, restful state, that's when it's going to do its healing.
It's going to restore
So
itself.
that's exactly right.
All right, it's time for our first break. So when we come back, we're going to talk more with Linda Harris and the therapies that she offers, both in Rocky Mountain, Wilson. I'm live tonight. This is the 6th of March. And so if you want to give us a call, 407-1111, we'd be delighted to take your call. If you have another question other than something for Linda, that's fine. Go right ahead and call, and we'll discuss that as well. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hang on.
At UNC Health Nash, you can get both. Take advantage of great benefits, including signing bonuses up to $25,000, student loan forgiveness, and much more. Plus, gain valuable frontline experience in an organization that prioritizes nurses' feedback. Apply today at nashnursing.com and discover how you can get big city benefits at this small town hospital.
East Hearing Care Associates, a trusted local business for 22 years, presents a hearing healthcare event with Chris Green, a nationally known hearing aid expert, March 26th, 27th, and 28th in our Rocky Mount office at 1372 Benvenue Road. There will be electronic hearing screenings, and be the first to try Starkey's newest Genesis 2400 series, our most true-to-life sounding hearing aids. This is a 3-day only event and space is limited. Call for an appointment today. During this event, there will be 12-month interest-free financing available. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 252-378-9080 today. 252-378-9080. Chris Green at Down East Hearing Care Associates in Rocky Mount.
Are you looking for the perfect space for your business in Rocky Mount? Discover the individual offices available on the 4th floor of the HealthView Capitol building in downtown Rocky Mount. These offices provide a professional environment with stunning views, ample natural light, and modern amenities in a secure environment. Join a community of thriving businesses and elevate your company to new heights. Rent includes utilities and Wi-Fi, and for an additional fee, you can have access to the building's gym. Schedule a tour today by calling Leanne Wester at 252-977-1616, extension 1012.
We're in our 18th year of practice at the Hammer Chiropractic Center, and we've seen over 15,000 different people in the Rocky Mount area. 40% of headaches actually come from a neck problem. Many patients come in taking multiple aspirin, over-the-counter medications and such a day, and we can get you to stop doing that and actually fix the problem so the headaches don't rise anymore. A lot of people think chiropractic hurts. It does not. Most of the people come in and they feel great when they leave.
Welcome back. This is Linda Prezioso. Here's Your Good Health. And I'm here with my friend Linda Harris, and she's going to continue talking about the different services she has at her 2 locations, one in Wilson and one here in Rocky Mount. If you have any questions for Linda or me, give us a call, 407-1111. See, Lee's finally putting it up for me because he knows that I won't remember it. So let's talk about thermography.
Okay.
That's a big offering that you have.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about thermography many, many years ago when I first did my natural health training, but there wasn't anyone around in our area doing it for many years, so I just kind of lost that thought, and going on with my business and being a single parent and having to take care of everything. But when I did get my certification in natural health and changed my business name, I knew that there had to be some other things that I had to do along with that. And I am I guess you would call spiritual person. I do talk to the Lord about everything I do. And so I was just praying the day I put my sign out. And I said, Lord, what am I supposed to do now? I've just took this risky move and changed my business name because I felt like you had led me there. What do I do? And I just heard just as clear in my spirit, thermography. So I began to pursue that. It took me a while to be able to come up with money, and I just kept telling the Lord, if you want me to do this, you've got to provide the money for me to get the equipment and the training. And so he did, because he's always been faithful to me.
Sure.
And so he did that. Thermography is something I'm very passionate about, and it falls in line with everything else that I do, because as a health coach, I try to help people find the root cause of what's going on with them and see if they can take care of things naturally. Not that I'm against them going to doctors. I literally will work with someone along with their doctor and do that many times. But what thermal imaging does is it's another type of imaging, and I'm going to talk about it in the sense you can image any area of your body, but initially I'm going to talk about it in the sense of our breast, because thermography is known more for breast imaging. I have, and I've got it on my little brochure so I can read it, because I can't remember everything all the time. And I just wanted to share, and I thought it was so important, that's why I put it on our brochure. thermography was approved as an adjunct to mammography and ultrasound and those things back in, I think it was like 1981, 82. So it's been around long before that. In like 1957, was when thermal imaging and medical thermal imaging began, to be used. So what it is an imaging that is non-radiation, non-contact, no pain, is very comfortable. And as women, we know how uncomfortable it can be to get a mammography. Now, I am not saying don't get a mammography, because I think, to me, this is just another tool in our toolbox.
That's right.
To make sure that we're checking off all the boxes to take care of ourselves. And I don't know how many people know or who have been for a mammography. And I think North Carolina, really, a lot of the places started doing it in the last year, but it's just been made the law that they have to tell you the density of your breast. And the reason for that is that in mammography, the denser your breasts are, they're not going to be able to see through that to see things.
That's right.
Because mammography, ultrasound, x-rays, all of those things are anatomical. So they're seeing something that is structurally there now. What thermal imaging does, medical thermography, is it sees things that are active right now in your body, physiological. So let's say you've got dense breast tissue and you've had your mammography and everything. Maybe you're just feeling like something's not right. If you come to get a thermography, chances are, if there's something that is trying to develop, and note I say trying to develop because you can catch things before they ever turn into something if you get your thermal imaging done early enough and set a baseline, because it will always pick up changes. It'll let us know what your norm is, and it'll give you a baseline. And it may pick up something that we can watch, within the next 3 to 6 months and see if it's changing or if it's your normal. And I was just reading a study earlier where, there's an 86% chance, and 86% is a lot, because
that's high.
some of the, there's in certain things with mammography for tumors that are not palpable, 86% of those have been in studies picked up by thermography. So I think in that it was 85 with mammography, and then there's other things that are 90% in mammography. So what has happened, and the reason they made this law about our dense breast tissue, is they've made a law to let us know. So now when you get your report from the doctor, you're getting a letter A, B, C, or D telling how dense your breast is, so that you know that you might need more imaging. And how many of us who have dense breast tissue have been called back, and you have to get a diagnostic mammogram. So you're continually,
and even a biopsy.
Exactly. And so I have a lot of people say, well, but thermography can't diagnose cancer. Well, the God's honest truth is, nothing can diagnose cancer but a biopsy. What we want to do is make sure that everything we're doing, we're putting enough tools or have access to enough tools that we can make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. And then I have other people who are completely natural and holistic and do not want to expose themselves to
the
radiation unless they feel like there's a need.
Right.
Just recently, I had a client who has had probably 8 or 10 biopsies on one breast.
Oh, wow.
Because her tissue's dense, and they're like, well, we think this, and so, sometimes things happen that make us choose to do a certain thing or choose a different option. And for me, I just feel like this is another thing we can add for women. And every time I do a breast imaging or breast thermography on someone, I automatically add along with that the what we call the heart health check, because more women die of heart attacks than breast cancer.
Yep.
So that's why I'm passionate about that. It is used for research in for kidneys. They're researching so many things of our bodies. Sports medicine, they like to use it a lot. Let's say someone's had an injury and maybe it's not getting better, and so the doctor can order or request that they do a thermography, and it will show if it's improving, as far as that, or if there's another area that there's a problem. It lets them know, do we need to change our protocol? There's so many things it can do, and especially since COVID, a lot of people with long COVID, different doctors have sent them, and some of them have chose to come on their own, because you don't have to have doctor's orders for this, to see what they can do and see once, and as a health coach and a natural health practitioner, what I can do with this information is add it to other tools that I have. I do a bioscan, which is galvanic skin response. And that tells, because we can sit here, if I'm going to see you at your family medical and you're asking me some things, I may forget to tell you some things. Maybe I might not be as honest, and I can hide something on my face if I don't want to be put on medication. But a galvanic skin response picks up the energies in our skin. It works with the sweat in our bodies and other things, so it does not lie. It's an automatic response. It's the same as if I'm filling out a questionnaire when I go to see you. Well, this is a questionnaire that scan is asking my skin, and most people are surprised, oh my gosh, how can it tell this about me? But it lets us know things where you're imbalanced in something, maybe in your eating, in nutritional supplements, if there's more stress on your liver or other things, and there are things we can do naturally to correct that. But most often when I do a thermography and I do that on them along with my health intake, every one of those are going to point to specific things, and that's how we know that that's where we need to start. And it's just good tools for us to have.
Yeah, and it's good to get to the root of it all.
It is.
You know,
It is.
because you go to a medical doctor and you have a complaint, and they're going to give you a pill, and all that does is mask the symptoms and mask the and it can help prevent some things from getting worse. But I don't know of any pill that heals you other than an antibiotic.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it that way, but you're right. Yeah.
And so that's why I'm so anti-drugs. Of course I write drugs every day, but I'm just so passionate about people learning all about all of these things so that they can learn how to take care of themselves. And I think now there's certainly a place for medicine in our
definitely. I agree.
society.
Yes.
If you've got an appendix that burst, you better have a surgeon that can take care of that for you. Or if you've been in a car accident and busted up a leg, you better have an orthopedic guy to take
If
care
I get in
of
a
you.
wreck, send me to the
So,
emergency room.
there certainly is place for doctors and medicines and that kind of thing. But I'm convinced that one of the reasons we're so sick as a society is because our food is terrible. We have the worst diet, and here in the South it's even worse than it is. There are some blue zones in the U.S., and blue zones are where people live to be over 100, and they eat healthy, they eat fresh, they move. You've got 90-year-old goat herders that are going up and down mountains,
That's right.
and they've got more energy than a 20-year-old man here in the United States.
That's the truth.
And there's, and then there's so many additives that are put in our food, sugars that are put in our food, that in Europe those things aren't added. Those chemicals aren't added because the Europeans know that it's bad for you.
Exactly.
Here this is my theory, and this is only my theory, and I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'll honestly tell you that, but I really believe that the food industry puts this junk in our food so we'll become sick, so the pharmaceutical could sell you a pill.
Well, not to talk politics, but we know who has the most lobbyists in Washington, D.C.
And it is
it's
not
the
a
health
nat-
food
that-
nuts, right?
That's not, and it's not the thermography people either.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we're glad to have people who represent things, but it still comes back to accountability for ourselves.
That's right. That's why I'm so passionate about this show, Linda.
Yes.
It's that we can teach people what they need to know and how to take care of themselves.
I agree with you. 100%. That's what we do at Well Life. I teach people. I teach them how to identify foods that you think are healthy. It's advertised as healthy. It's marketing.
It's marketing, yeah.
And just certain words they choose, makes you think, oh, this is so healthy. But I teach people to read labels, to understand what you're taking in, to understand that even certified organic doesn't mean it doesn't have anything about it, because once there's a process people have to go through when they're growing our food, raising the animals for our food, and to make it certified organic, I don't know what other word to say, but to make it certified organic, then they have to actually change their true certified organic process that they were doing before they applied for that title, and add some pesticides or add some other things. And I want you to know, every time I do a bioscan on people, it shows, if you've got too many artificial sweeteners in your body. I'm
afraid to do one. I haven't done one yet.
I'm
I don't want to know what
I'm
I'm
gonna do
gonna-
one on you soon, because I want to. But again, that changes because it's physiological. So when you change a habit or you change your diet, you change what happens in your body. I've got a whole video I use with someone. I have a plan. It's called the Well Life Plan, where people can sign up and get the initial everything that I do at a very reduced price. I really almost do all of that and a month's coaching for what it costs to do just a full body thermography, because I know that if I can get that person in the door and show them some things, they can feel better, and that's when I feel good about what I'm doing, is to help them
Exactly.
feel better. But you can change habits. But the video I was going to tell you about is, I teach people about, and we've heard about it for so long, it's been this big buzz statement for the last I don't know how many years, but the gut-brain connection, and it's true.
Oh, yes.
It is true.
Oh, yes.
What we eat, what we take in our body, what we're exposed to, even in the air and in things like these plastic water bottles we're drinking out of, that we should not be drinking out of.
We should be having our own.
It
cups.
seeps into the water, it seeps into our body when we take it in, and so it shows when I do these bioscans. But what is helpful about that, I think, that and the thermography, is I can talk to you all day about it, but when you see
See it.
yourself,
Yes.
what we have
Yes.
found, it becomes real.
Yes.
So then you're more willing to step out and do something about it. It's hard for us to change our habits. We don't want to change our habits.
No.
Some of those habits are fun, chocolate and donuts, but sugar is cancer as far as I'm concerned. Sugar kills. Sugar tears our body down. And we need to be eating things that have natural sugar in it.
Grapes,
Yes,
oranges, apples.
And the FDA did, after many, many, many years, it was a long process, and I'm talking about probably 30, 40 years in total, where they were going to, change the labels with the sugar, and it took many years. With trans fats, the same way,
Yeah.
but with sugars, and now finally it has, on the back of your label, you'll see it'll say sugars, and then it says added sugars. The sugars are natural sugars that were in whatever that food is.
Right, like apple juice, for instance.
Exactly.
Apples
So the
have
added
sugar.
sugars are what they have added in there. Now what they're doing is changing the names of some of the things that are added sugars to trick you into thinking it's natural, because sugar's addictive.
I think. Oh yeah, it's more
It's
addictive than
more
cocaine.
addictive than cocaine.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Well, you know what? We got to take another break. I don't want to stop talking, but we got to stop for a minute. So you just hang on, and when we come back, we'll keep talking to Linda. It's really fascinating stuff, isn't it? Give me a call, 407-1111. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
Looking for a nursing position that has the benefits of a large hospital, but a culture where you're more than just a number? At UNC Health Nash, you can get both. Take advantage of great benefits, including signing bonuses up to $25,000, student loan forgiveness, and much more. Plus, gain valuable frontline experience in an organization that prioritizes nurses' feedback. Apply today at nashnursing.com and discover how you can get big city benefits at this small town hospital.
East Hearing Care Associates, a trusted local business for 22 years, presents a hearing healthcare event with Chris Green, a nationally known hearing aid expert, March 26th, 27th, and 28th in our Rocky Mount office at 1372 Benvenue Road. There will be electronic hearing screenings, and be the first to try Starkey's newest Genesis 2400 series, our most true-to-life sounding hearing aids. This is a 3-day only event and space is limited. Call for an appointment today. During this event, there will be 12-month interest-free financing available. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 252-378-9080 today. 252-378-9080. Chris Green at Down East Hearing Care Associates in Rocky Mount.
Are you looking for the perfect space for your business in Rocky Mount? Discover the individual offices available on the 4th floor of the HealthView Capitol building in downtown Rocky Mount. These offices provide a professional environment with stunning views, ample natural light, and modern amenities in a secure environment. Join a community of thriving businesses and elevate your company to new heights. Rent includes utilities and Wi-Fi, and for an additional fee, you can have access to the building's gym. Schedule a tour today by calling Leanne Wester at 252-977-1616, extension 1012.
All right, we're back. Been talking about the gut and the brain throughout the
Whole commercial,
the
yeah.
commercials, so we haven't figured out all the answers yet, but we're going to get there, I think.
That's right.
So I don't even remember where we were, Linda. Go just.
Well, we were talking about the different modalities
Yes.
for checking all of our boxes.
Right, right.
And so that is what I do. Normally, when I work with someone with health coaching, I do look at the whole thing, and people come to me for different reasons. I do life coaching, health. It's a whole box. That's why I just use my credentials as a board-certified naturopathic practitioner, because I kind of include everything in there. And along with that, I can't do everything and be all to everyone, but I can coach them and lead them and guide them. I can even send them to hormone therapy to you.
That's right.
Which I
There
need
you
to do
go.
myself. So I try to have, that's another thing that I put in my what I call toolbox. The names of people that I know will
That would
work
help with-
different ones. So I always try to keep, communications open with people so that I can have people to send someone to that I know can help them. Because I can give them information. There's a lot of ways I can help them. But people come to me for different reasons. Someone may come because they're just not able to walk or get around good and their body hurts all the time. And then they end up making changes in their life, changes in decisions. And what a lot of people do not understand is how our mental affects our physical. We were just talking a little bit about that in the break, is that it affects us in so many ways. People who suffer from anxiety, stress, who don't sleep very well, all of those things can play havoc on our body. So when you start making changes, you start feeling better. And I got one of those lost moments just then when I lost my train of thought that we were talking about earlier.
We've got these.
And I didn't eat any sugar today either.
Oh.
But there's so many ways. But someone may come for one reason, just I feel bad. I'm tired of feeling bad. I've had all these tests going on, and nothing's coming back with my doctor. I want to feel better. And within 2 weeks, literally within 2 weeks. And I'm not saying they're healed in 2 weeks, but what I'm saying is someone will begin to follow the protocols that we give them based on what's going on with them and follow that, they will begin to feel better. I had a lady probably about a year ago that made an appointment with me and walked up my steps to come in the door, and I saw she could hardly walk, excuse me, and so I went to open the door to help her. She could hardly move. She had a lot of pain in her body. Her knees were in bad shape. She was a little overweight. She just was not feeling good. She had stomach issues. Just everything seemed like it was falling apart, and within 2 weeks, her coloring changed. She was feeling so much better, and within 2 months, she was walking up my steps better than I did because she was following what we were doing.
Right.
She was sick and tired of being sick and tired, as we say.
Yeah.
So there's different things, and people will lose weight because of that, as well. Because when you make habit changes,
Right.
it helps you in all areas of your life. Another thing is the mental. When we talk about the mental, is one of the biggest, and I've had to experience this myself. I'm sure you have, and it's something we always have to work on, is setting boundaries.
Oh, I'm bad at
Setting
that.
boundaries or lack of setting boundaries affects our health. It is part of who we are.
I want to do all
That's almost
things
another
all the
whole
time.
show is boundaries. I'm telling you, because it's hard for us to set boundaries.
Yeah.
And when if you're especially, I work with a lot of people who are the personality type that they do for everybody, they want to make everybody happy and all. Those are the people with the least amount of boundaries because, and I'm going to say we because I've been like that. We're people pleasers. We want to make everybody feel good and make sure everybody's okay. But that's not our responsibility.
That's their responsibility.
Exactly.
And they have to figure out how to do it
That's
for
right.
themselves.
But if you can ever teach someone to set that one boundary that they're so afraid to set, it's like freedom in their life. But it changes things. I could have someone change a boundary and 2 weeks later do a bioscan from 2 weeks before, and their bioscan will be different. That's how much it affects you.
I believe it.
is.
I
Yeah.
believe it. Yeah. Because I want to fit everything in, and there's just so many hours in a day, Linda.
That's true. That's true, and I don't want to make any more.
No.
I guess in a nutshell, though, talking about what I do, my degree is in original medicine. The way God intended it. He gave us everything, I believe,
Yes.
that we needed to sustain
That's why
ourselves.
I love essential
on
oils.
Earth. Exactly. I love essential oils. That it's plant based.
Yes.
It's things. I use. There's another brand, Physica, that I use. That's not an essential oil, but it's a homeopathic type medicine from flowers and flower essences.
Yes,
It is
yes,
very healing to the
yes.
body. Those are the things that work best naturally in our body, as opposed to some medications
Yeah.
that we really don't need.
If I wasn't so old, I'd go into herbology.
Oh, I
I'd
know.
learn how
Yeah.
to do herbs and treat people that way.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I do work with a lot of herbs, but I would love to continue on and get just an herbology degree too. I love learning, and
Yeah.
I'm a researcher. So when when I bring a client in, I research everything about that client to the point that I even take their list of medications and I'll make a sheet that shows the side effects and the rare side effects. Because if you're wanting to trace a root cause, it's not always the medicine, but what I'm saying, if you find a root cause, at some point they were given medicine for that, and then later another one and another one. And again, I'm not against medicine because there's a time and place
There
for it, and
is,
sometimes we need
absolutely,
it.
yep.
But what I'm saying is, if sometimes something is being masked, when if you found that root cause early and dealt with it, you wouldn't have had all these other problems.
That's right.
So I think, it's like you're peeling an onion, as we say, peeling all those layers back so you can get to what caused it. You can talk to someone, it could be a traumatic event that happened
Oh
in their
yeah, I
life.
was just thinking in my mind, we're body, soul, and spirit, and if your
Yeah.
spirit ain't right, you
That's
ain't gonna
exactly
be
right.
right.
That's
If your
exactly
soul
right.
ain't right, you ain't gonna be right. It's not just always physical,
That's exactly right.
because there's, if you're not doing the way you're supposed to do, and maybe not living the way your mama taught you to, and that wreaks havoc on you physically.
It does. And Lisa, I think you told me Lisa was coming on the show with you next week, and she spoke at an association that we're involved with together today, a little bit, and she said something that I kind of tend to forget sometimes, but from a young age, when we're very young, up to about age 13, if we've had traumatic events happen in our life, anything that happens in our life, whether it's good events or bad events, they shape us
They do.
for adulthood.
Absolutely.
And it's powerful, either in a positive or negative way.
Yeah, I have a real problem with rejection
Yeah.
because of stuff that happened when I was a little kid.
I know,
I'm an old
exactly.
woman now, but it
Yeah.
sticks in your brain.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see what she's got to say too.
I know. It was very interesting today to hear her speak.
Yeah. So tell me, you've got some weird looking machine that helps lose weight.
Oh, yes. Well, it loses inches. It's called Verjus. It's by Erconia. Erconia is a company in the UK who has researched for many, many years green laser diode. This piece of equipment is for inch loss. However, it's good for so many other things as well. It helps with skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema. It's good for wound healing, anxiety. Green light, they have found does help anxiety as well. But initially, I began to use that with Reed Beeman. He's a PA, and he's over me in using that. And for inch loss, to a lot of people, and just like clients that you see, sometimes that are trying to lose weight and do things. You will lose weight, but then we've got little sagging areas. and we just want to do something to them, or we want to kind of pull things in a little bit, and it works. And again, I'm a researcher, so I'm not going to use anything on anybody else that I'm not going to use on myself. So I've about researched this to death because I wanted to make sure. But it's non-invasive, non-contact.
I have to look it up. How do you spell it?
It's VERJU.
Let me put it in my notes.
Verjus. They actually just won in 2022 and 2023 prestigious award of safety in their research and all these. A lot of their equipment that uses the green laser diode, and it's low level laser.
VERJU?
VERJU. It is a low-level laser. What it does is it helps the fat cells, the areas. Normally, it's used in different areas of your body, but it's mainly used for like your stomach, your thighs, waist, buttocks, legs, anything that you want to kind of lose some inches. So on average, they recommend a minimum of 6 treatments. And with those 6 treatments, you can lose up to like 4.25 inches in all those areas together. And sometimes people think, well, that doesn't sound like a lot if it's all the areas. But let me tell you, it literally reshapes you, literally will reshape you.
So
it works so good.
Is that similar to or much different than like Cool Sculpting, or what's the other one that they do?
There's the different ones. Well, it works differently than Cool Sculpting does.
Because that, I think, freezes your fat
It
cells.
does. It freezes. So what this does was it creates a little pore that opens up that allows everything to drain. So it's recommended you do 3 treatments in 2 weeks, about 72 hours apart. Sometimes you can do like 2 treatments in 3 weeks, but what we have found is it's better to do 3 and 2 because if you go too far past the 72 hours, there's a processing time of that draining. It can uptake back into the fat cells, so you want to make sure that you're getting that. So we try to set certain schedules that will allow you to have those up to 72 hours. Sometimes you can do 2 days in a row, but up to 72 hours. You don't want to try to go past that in that 2 weeks. And it drains that. It pushes it out of the fat cell, which flattens the top layers, and then fat cells, they layer on top of one another, so it will begin to flatten out. And then what happens is it will go out of your lymphatic system naturally. So that is permanent unless you go and start mistreating your body again. When you start doing things to
that's
exactly
that's
how
just
it
the
is.
way it is. That's with anything. You
is.
can lose weight because you eat well and you exercise, and then you fall off the wagon, and instead of having a piece of fruit for breakfast, you have a donut.
Yes,
you're going to put it back on.
that's the truth.
I mean, that's why it has to be a lifestyle change.
It does. It has to be everything. But the one thing I found, one thing I like about, well, there's many things I like about Verjus, but one of the things I like about it is when you've got people, and I know you know this working with patients and working with clients, that people want to lose weight, but not everybody's willing to take those. Sometimes we have to give them things to show them some progress. And so to me, Verjus is good at 2 different times in your weight loss or all the way through, because Verjus in the beginning, if you lose a couple of inches, all of a sudden, especially as women, and it's for women and men, it's for anybody who wants to lose weight, but we'll say, oh my gosh, I really can do this. It gives you a kick to keep you going.
Yes.
We need little treats sometimes along the way to keep us going.
Sometimes,
and the other thing is, if let's say you go on a 3 or 4 or 6 month weight loss journey and you're losing, and then you're left with a lot of saggy skin, it can tighten the skin and pull it up. Now, in and of itself, it's going to do those things to your body, but you still need to follow a good, healthy eating plan. You still need to exercise. I've got a close friend of mine who's been doing Verjus, and she has lost her 4 and something inches, and you can continue to do it for a while if you want. And so she's chose to do that. There's cellulite settings for the skin as well, because she had a lot of sagging skin. And she, she's just always wanting, to pull that skin up or do this. And so finally I said, well, are you doing your exercise? And we talked about it. And she said, well, I wanted to see what it would do without the exercising first. And I'm like, well, our muscles, we can lose some inches. We can pull that skin in. But the muscles become loose too. and they will sag and pull, and you tighten your muscles up and strengthen your core muscles, your psoas muscle, things like that. It's going to pull things up as well. Not only that, the psoas muscle will pull everything in, but that is a core muscle that is very important for our stability, for our back, for our legs, to keep us erect and strong. And the older we get, we need to keep strengthening that muscle.
Too many birthdays.
To do it. I know. Well, there's ways to do it without it seeming too strenuous. And I'm always happy to show clients what to do at home because I can't be with them 24/7.
No, you can't. You have to have self-time, Linda.
That's right, self-care.
Yep, that's right. All right, so tell people how they can get up with you. What do they need to do?
Okay. Well, you can go to the website, first of all, if you want to look at what we offer. It's wellifeinstitute.com with 3 L's, WELLLIFE, institute.com. You can also call us, 252-363-7721. If you'd like to make an appointment or have questions, we're happy to help you. And we're in Wilson at 2223 Nash Street, Northwest, and we're in Rocky Mount at 121 Candamore Lane.
There you go. Now you got it all, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you so much, Linda, for coming. It was really interesting. We'll have to have you back again. We'll talk about more stuff. And Randy's here. He'll be coming up with way back Wednesday. Something Wednesday. Anyway, he's here with his show right following me. And I'll see you next week with more of Here's to Your Good Health. Good night. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.